about it.
Rob's Arcade,
hmm
Rob's Arcade, where the games get played and the games get saved so they can be played on another day. Rob's Arcade.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Let's go ahead and grab us a little bit of spot here on the couch and take a few minutes to catch up, hang out, see what is what, and I don't know. To be honest, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Just we're going to jump in. We're going to do it. Welcome to Rob's Arcade. I am your host, Mr. Rob, and we're just gonna be hanging out doing one of my, one of my favorite little bits here on Rob's Arcade, which is talking about just what's going on in general in my life. Doing kind of like the little, kind of like talk show type elements, if you will. Great way to kind of just sit down. Sometimes I like to do video game videos. Sometimes I'll actually get in front of the camera. But this is a great way to just kind of hang out and talk without doing like a camera setup, without getting like a quiet space. Like sometimes it's hard just trying to find somewhere to film where there's not like a lot going. Does this ever happen to you guys where like you're going to do a TikTok or you're going to send somebody like a Snapchat or just something where you're trying to record yourself for a second and then you find somewhere it's like quiet. It's almost like a video, like this, like a video game. It's quiet. There's nothing going on, but then as soon as you get to the space, like all these NPCs, all these people start to like spawn in to the area where you are. It used to happen to me all the time. I'd be like walking to work, right? It's like 7:30 in the morning, sometimes earlier. You know, there's like really nothing going on. It could be like a Saturday morning, and I'm walking to work. It should be pretty quiet. Most places aren't even open yet. And it is. I'm like walking around, like, hey, there's nothing going on. Let me pull out my phone and snap my cousin real quick. And then as soon as I start telling him the story and start getting into something, all of a sudden, like, people just like start popping out of trash cans and jumping out of bushes. And it's just like, dude, where the fuck did you kind of like. It's not that it's a big, it's just kind of awkward. You're trying to make a video. People are like, it's just, God, it's so weird. So this is a great way to kind of do this without a lot of setup. And I just really enjoy some of the atmospheres here in this game, and then as well as like just the avatar itself, which I'm going to miss. It's going to be sad to say goodbye to this. I'm guessing everybody this weekend. I guess one of the big pieces is GTA 6 is now available for like pre-order. It's like $80 to 100 right now for the different um, versions of the game. I think people are crazy jumping in like right away. You've got between now and like what, November, when this thing drops. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of a sale or a discount, or I don't know if Black Friday would fall into that. I mean, I guess if Black Friday probably is after the release, but you could probably cop a pretty good deal on it. People are dropping that $80 right away, which I think is stupid for two reasons. One, it's great, you got your copy, all of that, but you still got like how many hundreds of days until the game is actually out. So it's just kind of like a tease. It's like, oh, great. Now I just got to wait till fall. It's like summer just started, people. Um, and then also, like, I don't know. I've gotten to this conversation before, actually, like sharing, like a comment on TikTok, and it's gotten some kind of like some likes and some recognition, and people seem to agree with this take. Is that sometimes and Rockstar's saying the game's going to be complete. Like when this thing drops, there's not going to be any glitch. So many games when they come out, they're supposed to be these amazing cyberpunk, Star Wars Outlaws is like two that really I think stand out. Oh, the new 007 game, the Indiana Jones title, like all of these big titles that come out, they're supposed to be amazing and great, and then they drop, and all you hear about is at like a certain point, it gets glitchy, it gets bad, it's like clunky, the mechanics don't work, it freezes, and people get like really upset. They post comments and videos, and then people come after them saying, "Well, no, dude, this is you're garbage, you suck," and blah blah blah. But it's just what I feel is release date doesn't mean like completion date. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll put a game out, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's complete. And that's just it's crazy to think about. Like this is something else that kind of popped up too, which I really love, which is like this whole like I pulled out my DS over the weekend, and while I was off last week, it just really got into like some fun cartridge-based games because there's something about that physical media, which is something I'm thinking about really getting back into because these games that are like digital are like they can really do anything with it. You know what I'm saying? Like they can completely change the game, which is kind of what they've done. Like I've got, different versions of this game and Spider-Man, and there's like a 5 and a 4, and the graphics are different, and sometimes the content and the play is a little different. So it's really crazy how they can take one game and really alter it and make different versions of it. So it's like, yeah, like they can release it and say, oh, here's the game complete, and still be tweaking and updating the game as trying to figure it out, which I think is really unfair to a gamer because that's something that's like growing up, I never had to experience that. Like you might get a clunky game, but that game was it. Like that's the finished version of that game. It might just be like, choppy graphics or bad controls, or maybe it's just like shitty sound quality. But for the most part, like if you were waiting on like a game, let's go just like old school Nintendo, and let's say you're waiting on like we won't even go that old school. We'll go like I don't know. The GameCube was it like Zelda release, okay? And or like Mario Sunshine. And you're waiting for these games to come out, and then it comes out and it's not done. And like as you're playing it, they're finishing it up. That's just like unfair. Like when we got a game growing up, that game was complete. It was done. It was ready to go. And there wasn't like these updates or like digital down like what I'm saying? It's like it was done. There was a replay value to it. There was unlockable content within the game. I remember playing Resident Evil 4 and going through that game, unlocking new characters, new skins, new missions, and it was all contained within the game. There was nothing I had to add on, nothing extra I had to buy. No codes, no numbers to unlock. It was all just in the game, unlockables, things you can do. It's like today, it's crazy. They can release a game. And it was like something to my friend and I were talking about. Like this is going to become like a segue to my next point. My good friend Buck, whose beautiful voice you heard here at the beginning of this video, we were kind of talking about that, and like I was mentioning how like like the disc and having the game and having this and then that, and he was like, I don't think that's the case anymore, dude. And this is and this was a while ago, and I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, you don't think so? And he was like, nah. He goes, I don't think there's anything on your disc as far as like a game goes. And I was kind of confused because again, I'm thinking back to like Sega CD, and I'm like, well, I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Like, I remember, like, if I bought, like, Sonic CD or Ground Zero Texas or something like that, it was on the disc, and, like, I couldn't play the game. Like, it wasn't like it was on the system or something. Like, it was... And then we started talking about it, and it was, like, as he was explaining it, and we were almost... I don't know if, like, I feel like we were kind of, like, breaking it down together, but, he definitely was onto something, like, way ahead of myself. And that, yeah, like the disc is just like a giant barcode or something, or like like when you get a digital copy of a movie and there's just like a number. That's basically what that disc is. It's just a number. and all of the content is actually like floating out in digital space. And I was like, we're talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, dude, yeah, you're right. Like, I think, you're right. He's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm totally right. And I'm like, this is great. I'm like trying to catch up to him as he's like trying to work through all this with me and everything or whatever. I'm just like, this is crazy. So even like some of my Spider-Man stuff and my games, and I'm like, oh, cool, I've got this physical copy. Like Hogwarts was, I think, um, what had it like click for me was that I had played this game already in like a digital download demo, and because of that, it allowed me to save that game. And then when I bought the got the game as a gift for Christmas, it like picked up right there. Like it was that the same characters, the same names, everything. I was like, holy shit, this dude's fucking right. So again, back into GTA, they got this new release coming out. People are like going ape shit, getting this digital download and getting their pre-ordered copy. A lot of stores are refusing to sell the physical copy of the game. And I read this over the weekend, and I was like, "Whoa, what is this about?" Like, a lot of times now, when you go on especially like TikTok and things like that, you're going to see a lot of videos when there's like a new shoe release, or I think recently there was just like a new watch that got released, and all of these like jewelry stores were just like shutting down and not letting people in because it was sold out, and it's crazy. Like these things come out, and people will like even with the PlayStations, where like you know even as early as like the second and third, people lining up outside of the stores, and there's like riots. People go crazy for Pokemon cards nowadays. So I figured them refusing to put the physical disc in the store was because of like people fighting over these like physical editions of the game or whatever. Well, apparently, which I had read like just a few days prior to this, there is no actual disc. It's just like, again, it's just a number, probably something you type into your PlayStation, and it's like a what is it, like like a redeeming code or something like that. So stores are refusing to stock this game because there is no physical copy. And their policy is, in order to obtain shelf space, you have to have a physical media. I love that so much. There is just, it's so stupid. I was like reading this at work, and I was like on my break, just like kicking back in the office. I was like, what is this about? Like, I'm not sure exactly what, they didn't go into like detail, like what stores. Apparently it's like several retailers, and I think it's kind of like a unanimous thing, like I'm assuming like stores like Best Buy and like big electronic stores that would, GameStops, things like that, like these, stores that would actually like have these physical displays are like, no, there's no game. We're not going to put like an empty case out on our shelves. If you want to obtain shelf space, you need to have like a physical product. And I started thinking, I was like, that's so cool, because yeah, like if you're like, they don't have like shelf space for like Lego toys online. You know what I mean? Like you don't go to a find like a shelf space with like a ticket, and then you go home and like get the freaking set virtually. Like, no, you have to go there and actually pick it. I just thought that was absolutely, it's like a stupid thing to get excited about, but I don't know. Just really got excited when I read that. I almost want to pick up, speaking of like virtual copies, I see that it's like the Mortal Kombat, it's like Legacy Collection is on sale. It's like one of those things where like, I'm just like a sucker for those um, like retro collections, man. And really, I was like, so like the other day at work, I had this really cool experience. I've had a couple like really cool experiences actually. One was like a really young gamer, a young man named Michael, helped him get some headphones. But I was talking with like a friend at work, and we were just talking about, like I said, I mentioned I kind of dug into my DS collection and was kind of thinking about like, oh man, maybe I'll get back into like some DS gaming. There's just like something really satisfying about that system. I think it's one of the best systems Nintendo has ever put out. It's got some really great graphics as far as like handheld quality goes, and then the games themselves I think are just really well done, really well thought out. Even the games that are kind of like franchise titles, they have stuff like GTA, um, Assassin's Creed was another great one. And even though these games are like available on, you know, home consoles, and some would argue like better graphics and fighting mechanisms and all of that, like the way they lay these games out on the system, it's just really fun and engaging. Like, you know, they use the way they use the touch screen and the microphone for like all these different games. I was just getting really into um, playing some of these, and we're talking about it at work, and it was really fun as I was talking about like just different aspects of the Game Boy and what I like about it. A young lady, this customer, she got really into the conversation. I could see it too. Like me and my, like I said, coworker were talking about like Game Boy and stuff, and every time I mentioned something, I could see her kind of like, yeah, what now? I'm kind of getting like a little smile, like, oh, I remember those days. But I was saying like, I want to almost get this Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, not even for like the games that I remember playing, like Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, and not even for the ones that like I haven't played. Like there's some titles on there that I've never even really heard of before as far as like the Mortal Kombat collection goes. But really, I honestly, I want to. It's got the handheld versions of these games, and I was saying the other day, like I am such a sucker. This is kind of where this is going. We were talking about DS games and stuff like that, and I was like, I love the handhelds so much that even like I said, I love going back and playing like the Ninja Turtle games and stuff like that that I grew up with. I will get the freaking legacies and these killer collections because a lot of times they'll have like Game Gear and Game Boy titles included. And those are the titles I get the most excited to go back and play. So I almost want to get the um, Legacy Collection for Mortal Kombat, not for the console, but the handheld collections. Like I want to, like what is Mortal Kombat 2 like on the Game Gear? I'm sure it's awful, but I still like want to see like what is that like, you know? And then there's also like all these cool like, you know, videos and I don't know, like interviews and like special features that I would love to just kind of kick back and watch. And that was something else too. Like they had like a cool like Disney collection that they've done, and some other like great like old school retro game. I'm trying to think, like Disney did one that was really cool, and like I got to like some cool like interviews and just documentaries and discussions with the creators. And that's the stuff I really geek out over too. Like that to me would be almost worth. I guess like on sale for like $30. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. And that was like almost hesitant. I was like, so, and another reason I'm on the fence is because I know I'll want to go back and play like the originals, like 1, 2, and 3, and all that. And that just opens up a whole like Pandora's box of remembering all of like the back forward and the, you know, back bees and little half circle uppercut punches, and oh man, I don't know. too much. Just might be too much. But yeah, work's been going good. Actually, so again, one of the great things about my job is I still run into people from my last job, and apparently, again, that place is going to hell in a handbasket. Um, the most recent news is, which I can get some new friends, man. Thinking of the day, like my friends suck. Not you, Buck. You're awesome, and not just because you did my theme song. I've always loved you. Um, but man, some of my friends I used to work with, God, they are the worst. So not only have they not come to see me at my new job, but like the other day we were like, we were playing video games and talking and stuff and hanging out, and they were talking about how like the pool got shut down. But what they didn't say was like why, or like really, I guess, go into detail. Maybe they don't know what's going on. I don't know, which would make sense because the communication at place was always like god awful. Nobody knew like anything that was going on. But um, apparently, it's not just like the pool. Like there's like electrical fire or something on the pool deck, which God, like I mean, my life is so ironic. So I'm at my new job making jokes about like me not being there in the pool catching fire, like when I'm off work or something. And then yeah, the pool catches fire. Like there's an electrical fire on the pool deck, and it's like I come back to work. And I'm like, hey, remember when I was joking about my last job? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, well, guess what? The pool actually caught fucking fire. But this it's not that the pool just caught fire. Apparently, like lightning. I don't know. Maybe this two different things. I could be wrong, but I think it's all connected. Um, apparently, lightning struck the YMCA and fried their electrical system from the pool deck to like summer camp, and it's just been like no power. There's been like even like yesterday, like I think their sauna wasn't working, was shut down or something, um, which is crazy. Like that's like that's some crazy shit. In fact, I remember being curious as to why. It's like, why do we shut the pool down when there's like lightning and thunder outside if it's an indoor pool? But yeah, if the pool's not grounded, apparently, like there can be like electrical issues like this. It's like as they said, it's like a 1 point or like a 0.0001% chance. It's like super minimal, but it could happen, and I'll be damned if it didn't. That like crazy, never happened in a lifetime chance. It did fucking happen. And then it like fried everything, and like nobody. Finally, like I talked to a member at my new job the other day, and she was kind of filling me in. But I'm like, nobody told me this shit, and I'm like, dude, I could have fucking superpowers, and nobody's letting me in on this. Like, I'm like, you guys are freaking assholes, Like, in my room at night, dancing around with Stormbreaker, doing my magic Thor voodoo dances and shit, and lightning actually strikes the one place I was trying to send it. Like, you guys gotta tell me this shit. I could have been at Target or Walmart or something, been grocery shopping, and been behind some like super slow like old lady, and you know, like accidentally like Thanos snapped her out of existence. I gotta know that I have powers, you guys. You can't just let me walk around. Oh my god. So anyway, I found this out um, the other day while I was at my other job, which is crazy because like I'm still getting filtered the complaints. Like I don't have to deal with all the crazy bullshit. But like, if anything, when I come home from my new job, I'm not like, oh man, my new job today was super tough and da 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 da. I'm like, holy shit, my old like I'm getting like still I guess getting the complaints. If if the complaints are from my day, it's the complaints from my old job. It's crazy. It's like nobody comes in and really complains about anything. at the new, like we could be out of something, or like we could run out of bags or whatever, and they're just like, oh, it's cool, whatever, man. And then my last job, if like lightning strikes the building and it catches fire, they get mad at you because they canceled your aerobics water class, and it's like, well, you know, more. So it was crazy. I was like, what the hell, man? You guys gotta tell me this shit. It's bad enough you don't come see me. But here I am, like, wielding freaking superpowers, and you're not even gonna let me know. But yeah, everything's been going pretty chill. I don't have any, like I said, any complaints. Um, I felt kind of bad. Like, if anything, I feel like the one thing about this new job is like the people that I work with. I got to get ready to wrap this up. Oh man, they've got it going on. So like, I got to like, try to step in and help out when I can, which has always been kind of like my wheelhouse. But it's never like, I don't know how to put it. It's not like the drama or the bullshit is really work related. It's more like they got crazy shit going on in their personal lives, and then they try to come into work and they got too much going on. So like, it's like, I'm just trying to keep up. They're trying to do my best. And so really, that's just kind of it. Like, it's just like anybody really. Like, you just got a lot going on at home, and you got like kids and a family and things like that. And you come into work, it's just kind of like, hey, I'm just trying to do my best. I'm just trying to get by. And I kind of like, I don't know, there's something about that I kind of like, because it just felt like at my last job, it was more like, people were stressed out because they had a ton of shit going on at home. They couldn't figure that out. And then they had to come to work and deal with like a ton of crazy, stupid bullshit at work. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe I'll try to elaborate a little bit more. Let me come right back. Let's take a little break. Go ahead and like and share and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you're doing. Laying out by the fire. But until then, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Don't spend that quarter anywhere else.